background is in economic development, marketing and investment attraction. So I've spent some time working overseas and locally in Perth and Fremantle. I was with the UN for about a year and a half in Cambodia, going back about 10 years. So my qualifications as well are within business marketing, as well as a master's in strategic city planning or city development. So the role I have is around economic development and marketing and promoting the region and the regional needs. So a good fit with my background and the role. The group has been around since 1983. It's a voluntary organisation of 6 local governments in the southwest metro area. So starting from the west, it includes the town of East Fremantle, Fremantle, City of Melville, City of Cockburn, City of Rockingham and Kwinana. We've been around since 1983 as a voluntary regional organisation of councils, trying to find ways for the member councils to gain benefit from the operations of the group. So it's about regional investment attraction, regional infrastructure needs, working with state and federal governments to facilitate delivery of enabling infrastructure and helping them identify what we think are the important things that need to happen within the region. In the past, the group has been involved in shared services among the member councils, so trying to find ways within the corporate structure of the local governments to save money so they can deliver more of their rates revenue towards community services, so shared IT services and systems and procurement processes to try and make themselves as lean as possible. We have a regional economy that's about $30 billion in contribution to gross state product. The area itself covers about 620 square kilometres of the West Australian state. Population is approaching about 500,000 people, so roughly speaking we're about a quarter of the population of Western Australia. The region itself is very diverse, so we've got activity centres like Fremantle that's known around the world, as well as major industrial centres like Kwinana and Rockingham, as well as advanced manufacturing and technology, marine technology down at the AMC, all the way to Murdoch University and the knowledge and health precinct that's emerging there. So the region has a great diversity of industry from the traditional industries of the last couple of decades, as well as the knowledge-based economy of the future. So we have a diverse workforce. There's about 220,000 workers that come from our region and contribute to the Western Australian economy. Roughly speaking, we've got about 190,000 jobs within our locality as well. So a major employment hub for the state. Boat building and shipbuilding is a major economic contributor to our region and to the state and to the nation. So while there are various clients for those services and those products within the region, a lot of that relates to defence and the defence sector. So a lot of the technology and the employment and the line of work that those companies rely on comes from the defence sector, which gives them the platform to diversify and to look at new ways to do business and new ways to innovate. In terms of our industry composition, we've got advanced chemical processing, which is certainly something that we offer as a value proposition within Australia and to the region as a whole. There's a large health and social assistance employment within the region, so particularly leveraging off the knowledge-intensive healthcare precinct at Murdoch University is something that, going into the future, as the population ages within Australia and Western Australia, we're expecting that industry to grow. So if you think of medical science, technology when it comes to taking care of people as the population ages, a lot of that innovation and technology will be coming, we hope, from our area. So you've got obviously Murdoch University there, but you also have a lot of companies clustering around Murdoch University, a lot of employment and knowledge being generated by the students and by the university and by the companies that are looking to scale and to develop world-class technology and innovation. Rockingham Kwinana industrial area, we obviously have very established industries. We've got major companies there like Austal, BAS, Civmec, etc., who are really globally competitive companies and offer a real distinct advantage to our region. We are working hard to attract companies to support the big players, if you want to call them that. So looking at ways that we can help our local businesses tap into supply chains as well. So whether that's helping them organise, identify export opportunities and promote themselves at a regional level, that's something that we're helping them with. and we see a great potential for our region to grow into the future. I've been in the role a year or so now. My focus from the board was in investment attraction, economic development and advocacy, as well as trying to promote the region to international markets. So we've done a lot of work with Austrade in identifying our key sectors from an international relevancy level, packaging those up and understanding what the investment opportunities are for international players, as well as export development opportunities for our existing companies. So we've prepared some promotional material that gets distributed via Austrade to their dozens and dozens of trade offices and presence around the globe. That'll help build the profile and understanding of our regional capabilities at an international level. The group has worked hard over the last 6 to 8 months to identify its advocacy priorities. We've packaged those together into an advocacy document that we'll be distributing in the next couple of weeks to key political supporters within the region, a lot of state and federal members. Within that document, there are 3 key focus areas that we are hoping we can turn the state and federal government's attention to from an advocacy perspective. So the approach to that document is to look at things that are mostly in line with the existing strategy and policies of government, but bringing forward investment in infrastructure that has been mooted at a state or federal government level. So those key focus areas relate around movement. So we've done a lot of work to look at the transport network within the region. So the Fremantle to Murdoch link, whether it be light rail, rapid transit, whatever it may be, heavy rail, is one of the things that's high on the agenda of the board. So we've put a proposal to Minister Safiotti to investigate the business case and the demand for that particular route and the technology options as well. So we're hoping that's something we can work in partnership with government on. The other focus areas relate to industry development and logistics. So the group has identified some enabling infrastructure needs, whether it's around movement of freight and logistics within the region, irrespective of the outcome of the Westport process, as well as the third focus area of jobs and employment growth. So that's us working in partnership with the Department of Jobs, Tourism, Science and Innovation to try and address the high levels of unemployment within our region and to try and look at matching the employment opportunities with the workforce that we have. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a bit of a misalignment within our current workforce and our current employment opportunities. So we're looking to work with the state government as well as employment providers, industry and universities to identify the employment needs for the next generation and to help them get ready to fill those job opportunities. We recently prepared a round of submissions to Infrastructure Australia's infrastructure priority list. There was 8 submissions that we made. Some of them were a bit of a push. We were hoping to bring to attention those infrastructure needs at a federal level. We had some success with that. 4 of those infrastructure projects made it on to what IA call their priority list last year. That was released just before Christmas 2018. So that was a good win for us. So that's really third party or objective validation of our infrastructure needs, irrespective of the politics of the day. These are projects that the federal government has identified as being enabling economic development, infrastructure delivery at a nationally significant level. So 4 of those projects were listed on the priority list. Our next task is to try and convince the state government to fund those projects. The IPL listing just gives validation that they're a good idea, they are of national significance and they should be investigated. So from an advocacy perspective, we need to work hard to convince the state politicians to investigate those infrastructure needs. We have a big focus on investment attraction and export development. So we've been working hard with Austrade to build the profile of the region internationally. So we've prepared a regional capability prospectus that profiles some of the major industry sectors, some of the major infrastructure, some of the world-leading technology that's generated out of this region, and compile it into a prospectus that's being distributed by Austrade to their international network. So that's really the platform for us to then build on when it comes to attracting specific sectors, specific companies to the region, as well as to try and help our existing companies organise themselves from an export perspective, build up their export capability through programs like CCIWA and other partners offer, and to identify target markets for their products at an international level. So the next bit of work we'll be doing, hopefully in partnership with the state government and the local industry, is to help those emerging clusters identify target markets for their products where there is a knowledge-intensive activity that is internationally relevant. We'd like to see the region become Australia's premier hub for defence sustainment work and shipbuilding. We think we've got a lot to offer in that arena. We are working hard as a collective, so Team WA, with the help of industry, with the help of universities and TAFEs, to provide a platform for employment growth within the region. What I'd like to see is Team WA working a bit harder to win more work at a national level, but then also investigating the potential for the region to win international work. I think it's very timely. There's no doubt there's a great opportunity for the region and for the state to become more active in defence. We have a lot of the technology, a lot of the companies here that already do a lot of work in marine-based industry. There's opportunities coming out of the Indian Ocean and the Indo-Pacific region that we can capitalise on. So, for example, we're trying to position the region to win more Australian work. I think there could be an opportunity to investigate if it's feasible for us to start bidding and trying to win more work from international partners like the US and like Britain. For a long time, the industry has provided a lot of work within the defence sector. A lot of the work that is already done here is to service the defence sector. There's probably about $3 billion worth of work that comes or contributes to the state gross state product. We see it as a good starting point. I guess it's just a strategy at this point. We'd like to see how that's implemented, and we'd like to see the fruits of that labour. There's high unemployment within our region. We see a great opportunity for a lot of the youth unemployment to be enrolled in apprenticeships and training programs that can lead to job opportunities to service this opportunity. And I think the opportunity is there not only to service the Australian defence opportunity and the defence market, but also looking internationally, whether it's the US naval market or Britain or other allies, and seeing if we can become a global player in the defence space. A large part of what we do next year is to continue to promote our advocacy document. So there are a lot of things in there that have been well thought out, economically assessed by an independent party and validated as good ideas from an infrastructure delivery perspective. So we'll work hard to lobby for those at a state and federal government level. The board is also turning its attention to how we can be smarter as a region and as a group of councils. So we'll be preparing 4 business cases for smart technology or smart regional technology that can hopefully deliver outcomes for our community. So either doing things that we're currently doing smarter or cheaper to try and improve service delivery for our communities. From an investment attraction perspective, we'll continue to work with Austrade to try and promote the region internationally and looking to build up the export capability of our local industries as well.